It's hot. So here I am in the jungle. The viewfinder is so small. I hope everything looks normal. Life update. Clearly there's been a lot going on. I took some notes because I don't want to get too scatterbrained. I just want to give you guys the gist of what's really been going on since Lexi has been home. Because I feel like I never really did. Yeah, I didn't do any type of video when we got home, any update post hospitalization. Because we've been in the hospital, we were in the hospital for such a long time. I guess when we actually got home, we both just needed to like decompress and just enjoy being home. But I'm here now to share with you guys some updates. Shoot. One more bite. Oh, I want to turn this fan on so bad, but I don't think y'all gonna be able to hear me. So these popsicles are just gonna have to do. So a couple of milestones that you guys kind of missed, well, that I didn't share. One, Lexi has had her current heart for about 14 months now. So her 1 year heart anniversary has come and gone. Yay! She received the heart that she has now May 18th, 2019. Oh, and overall, Alexis is 5 months, or almost 5 months post hospitalization. Because as some of you know, ones who have been following her story, she was admitted into the pediatric intensive care unit straight from the ER, because that's where I took her initially, because she was having breathing complications, she was sluggish, and just not being herself after contracting the flu in November of 2018. So December 23rd, 2018, she was admitted into the ICU, and we did not leave until September 24th, 2019. So what is that? Yeah, so that's a total of 14 months from December 23rd, 2018 to February 24th, 2020. If I'm doing math right. I think I know math. I know some math. 14 months. But yeah. So we've been home for about 5 months. Some things have currently happened since in this past month alone. And this month is like just beginning. But I'll start at like the end of June. So she had she was, well, if you guys have seen previous videos, this is like, alright, I'll start back like end of May-ish. Or when was that? When did that happen? I don't know. Just look back in our videos and you'll find a video of a scare that we had with COVID. Yeah. So one of Lexi's night nurses, she has nurses that come in. She had night nurses, but I kind of fired them all. But anyway, she had a night nurse whose husband actually tested positive for COVID, and that like freaked me out to a point where I was just like,
you know what? I'm good.
On all night nurses. Too many people walking in and out of the house, like coming in and out, because she had like 3 or 4 night nurses in rotation. And by then she only had one day nurse that we had really started liking a lot, so we made sure that we had her like all the time, and we still have her to this day. With the night nurses, I was just like,
I'm good. I can do this on my own.
I didn't feel like I would be putting Lexi in danger by taking care of her by myself at night. I honestly felt safer that it was me and nobody else, so we left it at that. Because of that scare, she had to get tested, and that was actually her second test, because the first test we got, she had a fever going into a regular outpatient appointment, and they were all like panicky and like quarantined us in this room. It was so crazy. It was like when COVID was first like popping off, like the beginning of March. That's when the first test happened. But the second test was because of the COVID scare with the nurse. The third test that she got was this most recent one, June 29th. And she had to get that before going into an inpatient procedure. She had a cardiac catheterization done, which is basically a biopsy of the heart. They go in a major artery. They actually went in two places, the neck and the groin area, to get to her heart, to like scrape off some heart tissue. They took it for examination and all that. That's kind of routine because she was getting those done for basically all of her life. Because if you guys don't know, she got her first heart transplant at 30 days old. But I'll get into all of that. That's like for a whole nother video. July 1st is when she got the biopsy done. We also went in for a GJ converted to a J tube, and that's the tube that she gets her feeds from, like her feeding tube. And she has a feeding tube because the heart that she got was a little bit large for her chest cavity. And that's a whole situation in and of itself too, because when she got that heart, they couldn't close her up right away. So like, she got the heart, her chest was open, they had to put this clear film over her chest. It was like Grey's Anatomy, you guys. Like, it was so crazy. I almost forgot about that. Her chest was open. Wow. Yeah, so that happened. But she has the feeding tube because there's a slight narrowing in her esophagus, because her heart was like kind of pressing up against it because it was a little bit too big for her chest cavity. But since then, with the x-rays that she's gotten, they're seeing that she's growing and her body is making room for her new heart. But they just went ahead and switched out the GJ tube for a regular G tube Mickey button, which is a lot smaller and cuter, more compact, a lot lighter. It's detachable. Like, it's just way better than the one that she had before, and I'm really grateful for it, and so is she. So they did that at bedside right after her biopsy. A GI nurse came up, pulled it out. We did have a little bit of trouble trying to pull it out, but we got it out. It didn't affect Lexi at all. She was still kind of sort of sleeping from the anesthesia from the biopsy, but they could have done it while she was fully awake. Like, it's not an invasive thing at all. So they pulled that out, put the cute little Mickey button in, and that was that. And now she's on that, which is awesome. But yeah, so that was day one of her being in the ICU this go round. She does still have her trach. She only requires the ventilator at night. They only want her on it at night. They increased her settings a bit while she was under anesthesia. So the night of July 1st, we did a teeny bit and watched her, observed her. She did well. July 2nd, that night, they weaned a little bit more. She did well, of course. And by then they figured like July 3rd, you can go home. We don't want to keep you guys hostage during like the holiday, because we wanted to do a whole lot in this one visit just so she didn't have to keep coming in and out of the hospital, but not all the doctors were there and it was like kind of rushed, so we came up with a plan. But this is what we were talking about. So her nurse practitioner and I collaborated with all the specialists on Lexi's team, just about all of them anyway. Nutrition, pulmonary, endocrine, everybody. But more specifically pulmonary, because we want to work on getting her off of the trach. So they were trying to figure out how we can start titrating her down and getting that trach out, trying to come up with a plan for that. Because it was so last minute, I guess, with all the planning, and they didn't know when they would be able to get us on the schedule for a sleep study, and they didn't want to hold us in the hospital for no reason, well, for just waiting for a sleep study. We just decided to come up with a better plan, you know, outside of the hospital and everything. We also spoke with ENT, which is ear, nose, throat, those guys, to do a swallow study. And she had a swallow study done at bedside. I think that was on the 2nd, July 2nd. So the day after her biopsy. And that went well. One of the doctors came by and had her like swallow some soft things like some puddings, some juices and everything, just to see, so she could see it with her eyes, like what it looked like, what it sounded like, if there's any leakage, or if something just didn't sound right, if she started aspirating, or if she threw up or something like that. And none of that stuff happened, so she was really excited about that. We got discharged on the 3rd, but they let me know that they would be keeping in contact with me to try and schedule a more in-depth swallow study, so they could really see about that narrowing of her esophagus, because of her heart. They wanted to see what that was looking like now that she's gained some weight and grown. So we are going to do that on Friday, July 10th. I know everything, it just seems like everything is just happening like so fast, but I'm excited because we've been waiting a while to like start this type of stuff. And honestly, the only thing that's been holding us up is this pandemic
that nobody asked for.
But things are happening now, slowly but surely, but we're grateful. I think you guys are all caught up. Oh, baby. So yes, I'm pregnant. Oh, wait a second. I feel like as soon as I said that, the baby just wanted to do some stuff. So I found out that I was pregnant actually while Lexi was still in the hospital. I found out February 2nd that I was expecting. Yes, I was very surprised. Very surprised. My boyfriend was not. Not in the least. And we have some footage because like he recorded when he recorded me when I was like taking the pregnancy test and everything, and I think we like recorded us going to Target and getting the pregnancy test.
Ooh, I was stressed.
But yeah, so I feel like in another video I'll show like my live reaction and all of that. But we found out the beginning of February. Lexi was still in the hospital. I was having morning sickness like you wouldn't believe. Not even morning sickness, just general sickness. Because it wasn't just in the morning. Like it lasted all day, all night, 24/7 for about 3.5 months. So yeah, my first trimester was just hell. I feel like I need to make a separate video for this too. Yeah, just know that my first trimester was not fun. But we found out when we found out, and I have been chilling at home with Lexi basically ever since. Just about, because I was working when I found out, and the job that I work in, oh y'all, I was about to just not be able to just not. The smells, it was just a lot. It was a lot. Oh man, I just think about it now. Such a miserable time. But I'm all good now. I am 29 weeks tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be 29 weeks pregnant. It's been fun. I'm growing and growing and growing everywhere. But I feel good. I'm super excited to have a little baby to smell and kiss and cuddle and love on. Lexi's very excited too. I'm sorry. It's just really hot out here. I don't know who told me to record out here. Nobody. We're still prepping and getting things ready for the baby, like in the house and everything. We have a crib. We've got a crib and a diaper bag. And some, I don't know, why does it feel like we've been buying stuff but nothing? I need to reevaluate some things. Anyway, but we're still prepping for the baby's arrival. We can't wait to meet the baby. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? No, I don't have any other secret children. So that's Lexi's update and my update. We're just in here chilling, enjoying being together in the house. And I just love watching her like get better, like every day. It makes me so happy. Oh my gosh, is that camera about to die? Rude.